Hey you guys, welcome back to Angela's Angel, and on this topic, as you guys can see, we are going to be talking about the narcissist hostility against the empath, or with the empath, the narcissist hostility with the empath. So before I get into this topic, you guys do not forget to subscribe to my new channel. And so hostility is something that you're going to deal with throughout the whole relationship with this person, but it's going to intensify, right? Where in a regular relationship, when two people are authentic with their feelings and or their agreement, and the agreement in the relationship, you're agreeing to something. Both parties are agreeing to something. So when people cross certain boundaries or they break certain contracts and things that are expected of them in that relationship, things that they know go against that other person's boundaries, they're not willing to take that relationship to that boundary, because if they were to cross certain boundaries, it's going to change them as a person. It's going to change maybe their lifestyle, their relationship. So certain boundaries aren't crossed for a reason. Certain people wouldn't want to bring another person into their bedroom. It would be considered crossing a boundary for them, because it's something that they've never even wanted to do, and they feel like once you do something, there's no there's no going back from it, right? Just like certain people do things in their life and that's all people remember you for. And if someone can convince you to do something that's against your boundary, then when it's done and now they're treating you differently because they were able to overstep that boundary, even if you did it out of love, a part of them is going to hate you because they convinced you, they sold you something, and you bought it, and now they might feel like we crossed the boundary, and that person might become addicted to that boundary that was crossed, meaning that now they feel like they can do it without your permission, and then things just keep intensifying, and now this person is extra hostile with you. Now they're treating you like the enemy because what you presented, your qualifications, they were able to change them, meaning that in their mind you weren't who you said you were, because you were able to be molded into something else. So that's the excuse that a predator who does this will give themselves in order to satisfy their own needs, and now point the finger at you, villainize you, and make it seem like you're just this disgusting person, right? And now they feel like, why should I treat you the way you expected me to treat you in the start, when that's not even who you are? Even if the choices that you made were because of me, you shouldn't had allowed that. That's how they're looking at it. So a lot of times what you will do is you will think about things from an emotional standpoint, because you're like, oh, I did these things out of love because I thought you were getting bored in the relationship, or whatever the case. I'm just using a scenario. This isn't technically my experience, but this is how the mind of the narcissist works. So they become hostile. The person might become hostile, and they might be a narcissist, they might not be a narcissist, but if someone is able to control you and change who you are as a person, they gain control and power over you because you're believing what they're saying. But what contradicts the narcissist is that if they come across people that they claim they will respect because they're not willing to bow down to them because they are their own person, guess what? It's a lose-lose in both situations, because now their boundaries have become hostile towards people and having control over them based on their emotions. So when they aren't able to get someone emotionally invested into them to where they can change them, they feed off of that person's anger and make up their own assumptions about that person, even though that person is just standing up for themselves. And now the more that person stands up for themselves, because the narcissist lives in that hostile environment in their mind, now they have to attack that person, and that's where the back and forth will go. So you'll wonder to yourself, why would these people go back and forth with me? They're hostile one minute, they're love bombing me the next. And that's because you're dealing with a hostile person, a unfriendly person, a person who's not really nice. They're not really friendly. They're not really loving. They're not any of those things that they presented you to be. And then they want you to be jealous of someone else getting the things that you won't get. But it doesn't really matter what they're presenting to you, because at the end of the day, that hostile person is still there. That's actually that's their personality disorder, for so it doesn't matter if they if you feel like they treat certain people nice. They do that because it gratifies them as not being this sick, twisted person that they already know they are. They know that they've crossed certain lines, boundaries. This is why a lot of times when you do get abused by them, they don't want people to see. And then when they do show people the abuse, they're only going to show the people that they've been talking bad about you with, the people that they've triangulated you with. The narcissist will corner you in so bad that you're just relieved when someone comes to you as a friendly face, because you're in a hostile relationship, meaning it's a hostile environment. You're a captive, to this person. You feel captive, because they've become so hostile that it's almost like you feel like you're being punished. You feel like you're the child and you're being punished. And you might have came into that relationship, being sure of yourself, or feeling like you were sure of yourself. And you probably felt like you were going to war with someone that was trying to change you, someone that was very hostile. I know for me, the narcissist, they would talk about their coworkers or people inviting them places, and then they will start talking about other people's cultures, and and if I said something or commented on it and tell them, like, that's not facts. What you're saying is not facts. They would be like, no, trust me, I hang around these people. And I'm like, but this is my culture, so I'm letting you know, like, it's my culture. So and I've been in different cultures with different people, and I have family from everywhere. So I can sit here and tell you, with every culture, there's good people and there's bad people, and that's just all there is to it, right? And some of the reasons that you might think someone is bad is not necessarily bad, is that they have boundaries based on their nature, and that's just about it. So when the narcissist would tell me things, I'm thinking to myself, like, how could this person become so hostile trying to tell me things about me and my family? Or telling me, oh, you don't know your family like that. You don't know. They probably do this. They probably do that. And I'm like, trust me, I don't have that type of family like you've been hanging around, like lower class people, and that's why you're saying, oh no, people with money do it too. That's what I'm saying. And it's like, yeah, you're right, but not every person in that comes from a good family has those type of like every family every has different issues. Some people's families, yeah, they come from a good family, but there's kids in the home, or a parent that's over drugging themselves on prescription pills, or or a lot of dysfunction, different types of yeah, every family has dysfunctions, but you can't put a certain culture in one category and say that's just what it is. And yeah, sometimes there are those statistics, right? But what the narcissist was trying to imply is that based on the data that they collected, was that me personally, my family, was a certain way. And when I rebuke that, because I'm like, okay, yeah, certain things are statistics and things like that, but that's not who my family is, right? They became hostile, angry. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't really know them like that. You don't know what they do behind your back. And it's like, yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But when you've seen certain things, when you've seen people act a certain way, or certain people that, have addictions and things like that, you can tell from looking at someone. You could tell that person that's like, I would never do that. And they're a narcissist, but they're not like a junkie narcissist. They're just someone that's more narcissistic when it comes to the business world, and they don't necessarily have to do drugs, even though a lot of narcissists will try drugs in their life, or they'll do other things like drinking. So to me, it's like, okay, my family, it's not a whole bunch of drug addicts all over the place that have to go to rehab and that are thieving and stealing from you, but there's always that one person or two people in the family that do it, right? Every family has issues. That's why, to me, it's like you can't label something when everyone feels captive of themselves. Everyone is battling issues within themselves, and it can happen with anyone, meaning that just like when you could be in a committed relationship, and you can step out on your relationship and have a child with someone else. You can't put everyone in that category and say, hey, this group of race, they're the only ones that are doing this, when, yeah, there might be a statistic of a higher rate of them doing it than others, or things like that, but you can't act like it's just them, right? So it was arguments like that where it's like you get their point, but you're also trying to broaden up their thinking when it comes to thinking of things like in multiverses, in multi-worlds, in different perspectives. And that's where you'll start having arguments with them, and they become very hostile. Or if they have a piece of information that they got from someone else, but they don't know it's facts, they're just repeating it to you because sometimes they don't even do their research. They don't even do their research. Sometimes they hear things from word of mouth, or they have conversations with people that sounded sometimes even greater narcissists than them, that fooled them in certain conversations, because they presented themselves as being very intelligent, because they were using hard words, or they have a look to them, the way they dress, whatever it is. And sometimes a narcissist is looking up to certain narcissists who they're on the same level. It's just this person they've put on a persona, a performance a costume and you were the lower grade narcissist fell for it, right? So a lot of times they'll give you information that even they hear from other narcissists, and when you try to clarify their information because you know it's not facts, and you give them the reality of it, and even though you're giving them the facts, right? At the end of the day, you really don't care about the facts. Yeah, those are the facts, but in reality, even the facts are questionable. The things that you think are real, or the things that are put on a book, sometimes the things that are facts, sometimes those things might not even be real. So technically, because you see things from so many different angles, sometimes you don't care. But the narcissist needs to feel smart, and they feel like you're trying to dumb them down. And because they're very manipulative and because they've been lying to you, they become hostile because they're like, look, you stupid motherfucker. Like, I've been playing you this whole time. I've been lying to you. I've been setting up traps. I've been planting seeds. I've stolen from you behind your back that you don't even know about. I got you back several times. I've cheated multiple times and came back and made up lies and blamed other people, or blamed my past traumas. They're always coming with a sob story, right? So a lot of times when you leave these toxic relationships, when people come at you with sob stories, you might understand where they're coming from, but sometimes you might question why are they just telling you this stuff, and they don't know you, and they don't really know nothing of you, and they're just coming to you. And sometimes you might think to yourself, well, maybe it's an empath, because sometimes when you're an empath, you just want to talk, or you need someone to talk to. But a lot of times you're dealing with narcissists, that they're the ones who are, a lot of times when you're an empath, you're keeping to yourself because you don't want to get hurt by other people. Even sometimes you do overshare, but it's going to be with people you feel comfortable with most of the time. It's not usually going to be a stranger, unless the narcissist has you on survival mode, to where any energy is energy to you. So they take energy from you and then become hostile. It's like you're falling in love with someone who is robbing you, and then anytime you point out that they're robbing you and that you've been in this hostile environment, in this cage, and you don't see nothing but them, you don't care about nothing but them, they're all you know at that moment, because they've rewired your mind. The narcissist has power over you when you cry, when you shout, when you're showing them emotion, because to them, they know that you're trapped, that you feel trapped, that it's very easy to let go, but for some reason you can't, you won't allow yourself. This is how they can validate themselves, that the spells and the the repetition of their trauma, their abuse, their mental abuse, is so powerful. This is why if it ever gets physical, they know you're not going to do anything about it, because you're in a hostile environment and you're afraid. You're afraid to leave. So now they're like, oh, I can become even physically abusive. I can spit on your face. I can call you names. I can say degrading things to you. I can talk bad about your family. I can talk bad about your daddy. I could talk bad about your mom. I could talk bad about your grandparents, about your whole entire family. I could talk bad about your children. I could do anything to you, and you're not going to do nothing about it. And it's and the fact that you're not doing nothing about it, because you should be putting other people before me. You should be forgiving to your siblings. You should be forgiving to other people who, yeah, they might have been narcissists. They might have done things to you, but it's nothing as bad as what I'm going to do to you, because I'm a complete stranger. You know what I'm saying? So what happens with a lot of people is that they deal with narcissists in their life, and then they run into worse narcissists. They think that sometimes they feel like because they saw the evil in the people around them, they saw the wickedness, they saw the angels that they once thought were angels turn into demons right in front of them. They feel like when they run across other people, those people are saving them. They're a savior, or they're an angel. You almost feel like they're God sent or something, but because you're in that survival mode, you're not knowing that that person can see right through you. And they could see that you came from a hostile situation, because they know that you don't really want help, but you need it. Or they feel like they can feel your energy. It's like you're trying to keep to yourself. You're trying your best to avoid confrontational, hostile situation. You're avoiding hostile situations. Even in hostile environments, you're avoiding hostile situations. So that's when predators will approach you more. They'll say things to you because they want to see you snap. See, the narcissist put you in this hostile environment because they're a hostile person. The moment you stood up for yourself, the moment you called them out, the moment you told them exactly what they did to you and how you understand it, and why would they do this to you, and why would they waste so much time with you, why would they call you names, why would they say these nasty things to you, why would they wish death on you, why would they look at you with so much hate in their eyes, and all you've done is be good to them. To the narcissist, all that's going to do is make them even more hostile, because they're looking at it like, oh, you woke up, oh, now you want to fight. You should have wanted to fight me from the beginning, but you were so caught up in your fairy tale world of what I should have been that you couldn't see right through me and see what I really am. So to them, it's like, don't say anything to me, because if anything, I helped you out. It's not like you're dead. Even if you feel dead because everyone around you is alive, but you feel dead inside. Imagine how I feel. That's why I'm so hostile. That's why, to them, it's like they felt safe with you, because they knew that they can act hostile and you're not going to do nothing about it. This is why they're attracted to empaths, because you're not even fighting with them. You're allowing them to walk all over you. See, that's why they target empaths, while they go and cheat and do the things that they want with hostile people that are just like them, with wild animals. But they want you to stay in your place, stay in your corner, because when they come back from those hostile environments, they need you to balance them out. And while you're giving them all of your energy, all of your love and empathy, you start feeling cheated out of energy, and you start complaining about it. And the moment you do that, to them, it's like, I just had a moment with you the other day. Now you're telling me what I'm doing to you. So they come to you for comfort, and then they get hostile once they realize that something's not right, because they're depleting you of energy, and you start feeling like you're not getting what you agreed, what you thought it was. You're not getting those things anymore. Something has changed. Now you're calling them out on it. And to them, it's like, how dare you? I came to you after going through a hostile situation with someone else. I could have went anywhere to get comfort. I could have went back to that other person in that hostile situation, but I didn't, because I didn't want that person to treat me the way I'm treating you. So I needed to stand on my toes and make that I need to gain control. That person wants control over me. That hostile person wants control over me. So I won't allow that. So I need you to balance it out. They're dumping all that shit on you. And once you start feeling depressed and bad, and you don't know why, because they're dumping their negative energy when things are going bad, when things aren't going their way, dumping it on you. The more sad you are, the happier they are, because in their mind, it's like they've built the perfect person with that hostile person, but that hostile person is someone that they can't control. So to them, it's like they're in love with that person because they're seeing certain traits in you that are validating certain parts of their brain, and they're connecting that love with that person. That person's not giving them that, but they're getting that love from you. They're getting the empathy part from you. So it's like it almost, they start to validate that person, like, oh, you know, whenever you start acting shitty, I'll just be with this person because that person's going to give me what I need to be successful, or whatever it is. They're going to give me fuel, and they're gonna allow me not to look like a sucker and to look like a simp with you, because I know, so they might even feel like the girl of their dreams, the woman of their dreams, can leave them for someone else with more money, with more, you know, maybe they're not as attractive but can do more for them. So to them, it's like they have to show that person that, hey, money doesn't mean anything to me. Hey, if you're just looking for a dude to take care of you, go ahead. That you're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel validated. So those type of women will also stick around with their hostile type of people. So they'll stick with the narcissist, go play the good guy, you know, and when it comes to responsibilities and being a grown-up and doing grown-up shit, you know, they don't want to do that because they want to sit pretty at home. But they're getting their, because that woman might still have certain emotions, but she might not have emotions for everyone else, but she still has emotions that she needs to fulfill. And she might feel like the good guy can't fulfill that need, but this person can. So that person fulfills their wildest dreams, their intimacy. They're just the dream guy. They're not a real guy. The narcissist is a dream guy. So as long as both of them are in that dream state, it's all fun and games. It's until that dream is being broken that now they become hostile towards one another, and now they come to the people that they've played, or the people they know are going to be there, or their family who's always being their flying monkeys and protecting them when they're doing wrong. You know, now they're going back and forth. They're battling, and they're using people. And the people that they're using, they don't feel no type of way about those people. Only when they're not doing good, when they don't have supply, when things aren't going well, or when they're being attacked, or they're getting in trouble, or they're having a shitty day, they got a ticket. Anything, the narcissist becomes hostile for almost anything. They could be driving. I remember times where we would get in the car, right? And like they would just be frustrated because they're trying to get to point A to point B. Like we could be cooking dinner or something. We're gonna go to the grocery store. We're gonna be around a whole bunch of people. There's traffic, so they become hostile while they're driving. They start talking crazy. They start talking about other people. They start calling people names. They start, you know, swerving a little bit harder, you know, speeding. They become, their crazy just starts coming out, you know. They get to where they get to. They don't care about nothing. They have a I don't care attitude. They'll belittle people. They'll belittle, you know, whoever's working. But when they're not in a hostile mood, when they're in a good mood and they got like that good supply, they got you to abuse, they feel everything is going perfect in their life because that's all they care about at the end of the day. They feel like everybody only cares about themselves. They feel like you're naive, and they feel like once you realize that most people only care about themselves, they almost feel like you won't be that mad at them and you should just let it go. Like they taught you something. Like this is why a lot of narcissists, they're very hostile with you in the end, and then they don't really want, they they go from always keeping tabs on you to now they just disappear, and it's like they never existed, but they're alive. It's like they're dead to you, but they're alive, and you got to deal with that pain because you know they're alive. They're still around. They got new supply. They just moved on like nothing. Meanwhile, these people ruined your life, ruined your relationships, your friendships, or sometimes it was your own family, and they basically were like, okay, you're a grown up now. Now you know that the world that you were in was a fantasy world, the fairy tale, the Santa Claus, the tooth fairy, all that shit is over with. Wake up. We were nice enough to walk you up to this point. You're on your own, and you might have been like, well, I didn't ask to be here anyway. And to them, it's like, oh, it's tough love. Get out there. You're on your own. And then once you do things on your own and say you just might need that extra push, they're not going to be there to give you that extra push if you're with a narcissist. If you're with someone who really loves you, when you need that extra push, the people who really love you are going to be there for you. So when you don't get that extra push from your family or the people around you, your friends, you become very cold. You're in survival mode. You don't trust nobody when you're in survival mode. And then you start to see and feel the way the narcissist feels, where you're not so trusting and so nice to people. And now you start to see why the narcissist almost hated you, because they felt why are you so fucking nice to people? And you're just like, it's better to be nice than being hostile. You're going to get more out of people being nice than hostile. You're not understanding what the fuck they're talking about. And then you realize, oh, okay, now I get it, because no one is to be trusted, because people are putting fake faces. And to you, it came so naturally. And to the narcissist, they were watching like you're being nice to people who are putting a fake face, and you think it's real, but it's not real. So then, it's like you're living in this multiverse universe, and now you're like, oh, okay, now I understand. But it's still better to be nice than being hostile. The difference is they were mad at you because you were doing it naturally. So they had to break you down, make you give you that spirit of hostility, so that now it becomes harder for you to deal with people, because they're playing fucking games, where before you probably didn't know they were playing games. And now when you become hostile, it's like you're like, what's the point on even putting a fake face, right? What's the point? And that's why a lot of people walk around with a chip on their shoulder, and they don't know that shit comes from the narcissist, and because the narcissist can't control their shit. But the difference is that when you start acting like that, when you start acting masculine, because that's what the narcissist they were acting feminine. They were trying to make you masculine. They were trying to prey on you. They were telling you about yourself. They were trying to dissect you. They were trying to put you in a category. Oh, they wanted to put you in that category, like how if you don't have a father, they're going to put you in a category. Oh, your mother probably struggled, you probably didn't get a lot of love because your mother had to work, your dad wasn't there. You probably pay attention and respect men more than you respect women, so you don't respect the women in your life. You don't listen to them, you listen to men. So that you do whatever the man does. Whatever the man does, even though he's not taking you serious, you think he's taking you serious. So you mimic him, you talk like him, you walk like him, you start thinking like him, and he's not even who he's saying he is. And now here you are acting like him, and when women are telling you what the fuck is going on, you're becoming hostile towards the women that are helping you. So the narcissist is setting you up for failure. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're basically telling the narcissist, like, no, I didn't come from a family that struggled. Yeah, maybe I didn't have my father around, but I still was raised around men, and I have men that respect me. I have men that care about me, or or your family came from money, your family came from wealth. So no, you didn't have to struggle in certain things. You feel like, oh, if you didn't have something, you can't miss something you never had. So certain situations you feel like, I can't miss something I never had, and I didn't have to worry about certain things in life that maybe someone else had to worry. So the type of trauma that maybe another supply had, I didn't have that. But the narcissist breaks you down to put you in a category to justify their actions, and they feel like that's what you deserve, even though your family or the people around you worked so hard to get you to the next level. But because they couldn't get to the next level, they want to stop you from getting to the next level. And just like maybe even your family and the people around you, they might have helped you through so many levels, but the moment you started listening to the narcissist, they said, oh, I'm not going to help you to the next level. I'm going to let you drown with the narcissist, so I could teach you that we didn't have to save you, but we did. And you're going to see what a stranger will do to you. You know what I'm saying? So this could put an empath in a situation where you become hostile yourself. You don't trust people. You might feel like, what's the point on being nice, or whatever the case is. And then you become someone that you're not. And then you learn that. And then you start to drown just the same way the narcissist was drowning, not understanding that the narcissist took your strengths. The things that came easy to you is what the narcissist takes from you, and then now they become hostile, even though they've been lying and playing with you and toying with you because you've been believing their fake persona. They're snakes, they're evil, they're wicked, they're filled with hate, jealousy. So the moment, you become hostile because you realize, oh, this person played me out of my spot, out of my position, the narcissist feels like, you gave them enough fuel where now shit is coming easy for them because they studied you, and they almost feel like, if I can destroy you, I don't care if you have a career, whatever it is. If I was able to manipulate you and you're a doctor, then I'm smarter than you. That's how they look at it. I'm smarter. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care about that college degree. I don't care if you worked hard and you studied all night and you aimed all your tests. I'm still smarter than you. They feel like they just didn't make the right choices because maybe they didn't possess the right information at the time, or whatever the case is. So they come and they mess with your intelligence, and they know they can't convince certain people who are stuck in their ways. So they like to convince younger people or people that are less experienced, who think that they know everything. So to the narcissist, is like, they like those type of people because they're like, oh, you think you know everything, or you think you grown? Oh, okay, I'm going to break you. I'm going to crack you, To them, it's a challenge. So they get their high off of the challenge because they feel like they're helping you just the same way they felt like they were helping you by getting with you, because they felt like they saw some flaw in you. And to them, it's like, I upgraded you. Yeah, I said some mean things about you. Yeah, I talked bad about you. I told you, oh, you're flat chested. I said all these things about you. And a lot of times women will leave those relationships. Now they're getting their body done. I know people who, their husbands were narcissists. Their sister was a narcissist, and their husband was sleeping with their sister while they're at work. And, as soon as that person left, oh, now they're losing weight. Now they're getting plastic surgery. Now they're doing all these things. And they'll say they did it for themselves. But it was part of all of the insecurity that that hostile environment of the narcissist, cursing them out and dogging them out and, spitting on them, shitting on them like they were nothing, that makes that person feel like they have to prove to themselves that they are something, that they are special, that they do matter. They feel like if they don't do certain things for themselves, the narcissist wins, So when you do upgrade your life, the narcissist, all they're going to do is take credit for it. They're like, oh, I'm taking, and some of them will even try to circle back around just to get a taste of it. And that's almost about it. they're not going to stick around because they know you probably got too much information where you know that they have a hostile spirit, and that spirit is eventually going to come out. And sometimes it comes out right away because they feel like, you forgave me, you let me come back, I'm going to teach you one more lesson about people like me. When you move on, when I walk away from you or you walk away from me, never come back, because it's never going to be the same. Once I die in your life, once I'm dead to you, I'm dead to you. Once it's over, it's over. So it doesn't matter how much I come back. So it doesn't matter how much you go back to your family. They're going to be talking about you when you walk into the family reunion, when you walk into the holiday dinner, when you go to Thanksgiving, Christmas, everyone's going to look at you weird because they've been talking shit about you. They're not ever going to be close to you again. They're never going to love you. They might even be religious people, and they might start preaching to you. They might even start dedicating certain fucking verses to you and acting like you're this wicked person, you know, calling you Mary Magdalene and referring to you as the prostitute from the Bible just because you were dealing with a narcissist. Now they're referring to you as a prostitute and telling you that you could be saved, and they're saying that you're the one with the demons, and now you're seeing that they're demonizing you instead of helping you. And then you're starting to see that most narcissists become hostile when they see weakness. So instead of them having empathy, they become hostile, but they know it's bad. These are civilized narcissists. They know it's bad to try to break someone down when they're already broken, right? So they'll do it in other ways where it's not going to seem like they're bad. They're going to say, oh, let me pray for you. Let me pray over you. They're going to, and they like the way it makes them look, because they're looking around. They're like, look, I look like the bigger person. And all the other people are looking at them like, they're such a good narcissist. Look at them. They know how to control their anger. They know how to give love and make it seem like it's love. Look how powerful of a fucking witch she is. One day I aspire to be her. It never comes from a genuine place. It comes from a hostile place. And the moment you start feeling like something's wrong here, or the moment you don't do what they tell you to do, or you're not bringing enough people to the church, now they start acting funny on you. They're setting you up with other people at the church. They're like, every person, God made it to be for every man to be with a woman. And what do you think about brother Tyrone over there? You know what I'm saying? And then they become hostile. Now they're at the Sunday service. They're bringing out scriptures, and then they're talking. They're like, I got a story to tell you, back in the day, this, and this happened. And you're like, it sounds like they're telling my story. And you're like, nah, but, stuff like that happens to everyone. But it really resonates with me. So they do hostile things, and now it's triggering you. You're like, I think that motherfucker was talking about me. Now people are coming up to you after service. They got this look in their eyes, like they're trying to see, do you know he was talking about you? And you're like, people are acting like they were talking about, like he was talking about me. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm bugging. And these people will drive you crazy with their mental games. So the narcissist is very hostile, very perverted in their talking and their arguments. And then they will make you hostile. And when you argue with them, they will make you look like the narcissist, because when they lie, they just keep lying. The lying doesn't stop. And with you, they'll make it seem like you're speaking in word salad because you're emotional. So it's the moment you start crying or anything, they're like, see, it's word salad. She doesn't know how to control her emotions. So while they're not being able to control their emotions, they're saying that you're not controlling your emotions. And you're looking at them like, it's you who's yelling. It's you. You know what I'm saying? It was times where the narcissist would start argument. I remember one time he started an argument at his family's house. And I remember his mother was like, why are you yelling? And he was like, it was her. She started. He was blaming me. They're like children. They're blaming you. When they become hostile, they blame you like children. Like it's like a child lying on you, and you're like, I didn't hit him. He hit me first. He hit me. And then the parent, instead of protecting the person who really was hit first, they'll attack the person that was hit first, and they'll be like, stop messing with your brother. And the brother got this look on his face like of satisfaction, and you're looking at the mother like, don't you see your son is sneaky as hell? So it happens that way, and then people go through life like that, living that repetitively, where they get in trouble for shit that they didn't do, or the narcissist outsmarted them or made them do something, and they were the ones who got caught red-handed, while the narcissist is in the background looking at you, telling you not to snitch. Don't snitch, remember? But they're the ones who did it, and you didn't even know why you were doing it. It was like you were sleepwalking. Because you did it because you trusted them. So they're nice to you while they're manipulating you, but the moment you're saying any truth, they will become hostile with you. The moment things are changing in their life, or the moment that they have new friends or something, or new money or anything, they start becoming hostile, because you're not dealing with a human being. You're dealing with an animal, with a predator, an animal, someone who has said to themselves that they're not human. The narcissist always tells you, I'm not human. I'm a ghost. I'm a chameleon. I'm a this. They like to be the villain. You know what I'm saying? They like to tell you that what you see is not what you're getting, what you think you're getting. They like to tell you that because they're basically saying, I'm not really a human. I'm not civilized. I'm not following the rules. I'm creating my own rules. I'm a wild animal. I do what I want. You don't really know what I'm about. A lot of narcissist predators are into a lot of diabolical things, children, and they're into children, animals, cheating, consistent. They like that. They're adrenaline junkies. They like to do stuff that you don't know. You wouldn't even think that they're doing, and they like to throw people off. So meanwhile, while they're abusing you, you don't even know that they might not even be attracted to women. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you don't even know the half of it. It's like, you think I'm evil now, bitch. You don't know how evil I really am. You don't know how hostile I can really get. You don't know that I can kill you. I can kill you. I just don't want to, because I don't want to go to jail, but I can. As a matter of fact, let me get away from you, because you're going to make me go to jail. And you're looking at them like, why is this person so hostile? Like, you've never felt that type of hostility yourself. So to you, it's weird. It's like watching the big bad wolf, like the boogeyman, and you're like, I don't know this person, or you're trying to calm them down like a wild animal. It's like a big ass dog barking at you, and you're trying to calm the dog down, but the motherfucker don't calm down, and you can't train an old dog. You can't change that narcissist. You can't train that wild animal out there. He's already had a life. She's already had a life. She's already been through certain things and has a perception of certain things. And anytime you say something to them, it's going one ear out the other. And they got like selective hearing. They're only going to listen to who they feel like they respect. And they don't really respect too many people. So most of the time when you're talking, they're thinking about themselves, or they're thinking about their own shit and how to relate to what you're saying so that they can make it about themselves. And then they ignored the whole fucking message that you even told them to begin with. And everything you said, it wasn't to brag or to talk about yourself, is that you're seeing that they're so hostile that they can't see through certain things that they're doing wrong. So you're trying to tell them, but to them it's like, why are we even fucking talking? Why are you even saying this shit to me? I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me see shit the way you see it because you feel like that's going to make my life better. But really, I was just venting to you what I did and what happened. And I didn't even tell you fully the truth. I'm just telling you bullshit because I was just looking for some type of entertainment and for someone to have my back or to feel sorry for me, or I just made up some shit to get something out of you or to make it seem like I'm going through a lot because I need a friend or because I'm so grateful to you, because later on I'm going to end up asking you for help, or I'm going to need a favor, or I just need you in line just in case I need you later on. So later on when they do ask you for a favor or something and you don't go through with it because you feel like this motherfucker thinks I'm dumb and I can't see through their bullshit. They're not a good friend. They're just full of crap. And you already know that's why you didn't take any gifts from them. That's why you don't expect nothing of them. And you already knew in the back of your head that one day they were going to ask you for something. And because they have so much bad luck because of their hostility that they need to work on, which a lot of them do try to work on it. And that's why when they work on it, they don't change. They just learn how to deal with their hostility in a classier way, but it's just as vicious. Because it's going to go undetected. It's going to make you look like the crazy one, and then they're going to point the finger at you. Aha, see, officer, she's aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do when it comes to their hostility, and to balance out their hostile demon, so they use people to balance it out until those people are drained. They're literally stealing energy. Anybody they're around, they're taking energy from them, and to them that's what they feel like they're winning. They feel like it doesn't matter how bad my life gets because I was able to destroy you. They're more consumed with destroying you than being worried about the bad karma that comes with it. That they don't care about. They feel like nothing is real. They feel like the reality that was created for them isn't real. So to them it's like, I'm making my own. I'm a big kid in a candy store, and I get to do what I want now and how I want to do it, and I don't need any rules. Rules aren't real, And it's like there's no belief in God. There's no belief in the devil. So to them, it's like you could call them a devil. It's not going to make them feel any type of way, because it's like, who's the devil? A made-up character. Who's the God? A made-up character. They don't believe. A person that doesn't believe in anything, it's like they're going to go mad. They're going to become hostile. They're not going to want to be bothered by people, be bothered by shit that just doesn't matter, or, there's going to be a hostility where they feel like everybody is stupid because they don't understand what's going on. And with the narcissist, what they keep misunderstanding is that not everybody is stupid. Clearly, I can stay here and tell you everything about them. The same shit that they'll say that they feel is the same shit that I can tell you that they feel, because I've seen it, I've experienced it. I felt the hate, I felt the hostility. I felt the hostility and the hate inside of me when they were gone. The rage, you know what I'm saying? And the rage is something that even till this day is something that it's in me. It wasn't in me when I was before that. I was like a baby cub. You want to play with the other baby cubs, and then, the other baby cubs start hunting other animals and doing other things, and you're in the background still wanting to play. So the narcissist almost looks at you like you're the child, because you don't even know that everyone is going their separate ways. You want to keep everything together, and you aren't willing to accept change. So this is why the narcissist feels like they could play you so many times, because they feel like you're never going to change, because look how many times they played you, and you didn't change and tell yourself that you deserve better. You know, so to the narcissist, they feel like they have a better chance at changing than you do, you know. But that's only because that's the fuel that empaths give the narcissist. So a lot of times when you're giving them this fuel, you better believe that the person that they're playing you with, that other person, they're not being sucked out of that energy the way you are. You're the one that is balancing. That's why the relationship will work with the next person, because you're balancing their hostility. You're balancing their anger, all the bad feelings they have inside. You're comforting them, or else you would think to yourself, well, I'm hot. You know, when they leave you in a position where you feel hostile, like you can't trust nobody, you don't go around fucking playing with other people and their emotions. And even when you're caught up in those situations where people like you more than you like them, and you've already told them, hey, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm still healing, or whatever the case is, or, you know, they've showed you with their actions that they got your back, but you're so broken, someone broke your heart so much to the point that you just don't feel like you could love again, at least not in that way, because now you're living in a different reality where you see the monsters and you despise them, but for some reason you're still not necessarily in love, but you, no matter how bad the narcissist treats you, it's almost like you have this, it's kind of like a mother, when a mother has a rebellious child, or a child who's doing bad things, but they still love their kid. You know what I'm saying? They still love their kid, and you're like, you know, she's giving the narcissist fuel. What kind of mother is she? You know, and you don't understand until you have kids of your own, where it's like you feel like you have to protect them, and sometimes you think you know your kid, and you know they're a little off, but you just didn't know they were that evil, to the point where they ended up doing something despicable, kind of like that dude Chris, I don't remember his name, Chris something, that killed his wife and kids. Like, you know that sometimes people have certain narcissistic traits, but you don't think their hostility will take it to a level where they'll even kill you. You know, I remember the narcissist being hostile with me at a birthday dinner with his brother, and he set the whole shit up where he basically was trying to trick off of me and trying to make me like give more money to a fucking, you know, usually when you go out, everyone splits it, but he tried to they purposely got the most expensive things. They were playing games. So in those situations, they'll try to make it seem like, oh, it's classless not to pay when you're splitting the bill equally, right? But they'll do shit on purpose. Like, they'll get the most drinks, the most food. They get greedy. It's like a wild animal. Snack, 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 snack. It just wants more snack. It's not thinking from an emotional place. It's thinking from a survival place. So a conniving, sneaky, greedy, you know, just take type of thinking. And I remember I thinking to myself, like, this person's trying to play me for a dummy, right? And basically the whole thing got hostile. He got disrespectful. I tried grabbing my money and walking out the restaurant like, I'm not giving nothing. How about you pay for everything? And he tried to flip it on me like I was being disrespectful for taking my money. But the only reason I took my money is because he started calling me names in front of his family member and just going in, right? So to me, it was like, oh, you're trying to show your brother that you really disrespect me, right? Because to me, he had never disrespected me like that, right? So it's like they'll do something out of the blue. Like when we go out to dinner and things like that, you know, a lot of times he would pay, You know, he would take me to certain restaurants, like, oh, babe, let's go to this restaurant, you know. Sometimes I would pay, you know, because I would feel like, you know, he's doing things for me, taking me out. And sometimes I would be like, oh, babe, I got it, right? So it's like with narcissists, if you do anything for them, that's why certain people, like the women the narcissist goes after, a lot of times they're not willing to give the narcissist anything. Not even, oh, I'm gonna pay this time, babe, you know, like out of love, right? Some of the women they mess with aren't like that. They strictly expect the narcissist to do everything, and the narcissist feels like pressure to have to do everything for that person, but they'll use you. They'll save their money, and you don't know that they're saving money when you just paid for that meal. Now that in their mind it's, oh, you gave me enough money for it. Now I could cheat this week with someone else. I can give this money that you paid for dinner and I could pay for them. You're not thinking you're dealing with a person that anything that they're on some back and forth monopoly money. Oh, I'm playing chess, not checkers type of mentality. You're not knowing that, you know, everything you do is out of love. So when this person exploited me, you know, now they're like wild animals in front of all these people at a very upscale restaurant, and I'm like, oh, just for the simple fact that you disrespected me in front of your brother and you're trying to make it seem like I'm some fucking trick, like I'm some type of, you know, bitch that you use for money or something like that. That image that you're trying to give to your brother, I'm out of here, like, fuck you, right? That was my attitude, because I clearly saw what he was doing. I'm like, this motherfucker thinks I'm dumb. And he's never disrespected me like that in public, meaning that the moment that I was trying to walk away from the situation, he grabbed me from my ponytail and pulled me back. And I remember just like my head going back, and then I turned around, like basically like, get the fuck off of me, like don't touch me. And I gave him the money, like I threw the money, and that pissed him off even more because I threw the money. And then he said, well, you can walk home. You could walk home. You could walk to your car. You're going to walk home. We're all the way in Beverly Hills. And now I have to, he's basically, my phone died too, like that. And he's basically telling me, oh, we're in Beverly Hills. Find your way back to the other side of LA. Go, you know, find your way back. Figure it out. I don't give a damn. Your phone died, whatever. I did not care. Because first of all, I'm not these broke ass females out here that would have been on the side curve crying for him, because I knew exactly what was going on in that moment. And I didn't care. I had money in my wallet, in my purse. I had money in my purse. And that's another thing he was mad about. He was mad because I had a lot of money. At that time, I was working extra. I was doing things. I could just see the green goblin in his eyes, the eyes of jealousy. I would come home. I'll be counting my money or anything. You know, I was trying my best. You know, I was on saving mode, right? And he just looked like a starving, hungry. He looked like, oh, I'm trying to look rich, but I'm really not. I'm really broke, right? So to me, I wasn't trying to show off. I wasn't trying to do anything. I wasn't playing a game with him. I wasn't going back. I wasn't trying to make him jealous. I wasn't trying to do anything. You know, he was just flipping. He was becoming hostile all by himself. You know, if I knew I looked good or something, oh, you know, they have to make you feel like you don't look good. They have to make you feel like no one wants you, when they know when they know you don't believe them because you're getting attention from people. They get jealous, and now they want you to believe that they're doing the same thing to you. They're like, oh, and they might be doing the same thing to you, but they don't want you to get any shine. So now they want you to know that they're cheating on you. So you might be loyal to them, but to them it's like, if you're getting any attention, you're probably cheating. So this is a lot of times where the narcissist, they'll begin to, double up on trying to look for the perfect supply. That's when they start taking things to another level. Now they're looking anywhere and everywhere. And what's so crazy is that you'll start to feel like you're dealing with someone who probably talks to every woman that they run across. They probably are flirtatious, but they try to present this image when they're with you like they don't talk to anybody, like they're not really friendly to other women, and they'll come off as, oh, I was just being polite in certain situations, but it's actually them being flirtatious in a way. And you might overthink it, like he wasn't really flirting with her. You might even think, oh, maybe he was just being nice. And a lot of times that was their version of flirting with that person. It was more about, look, I'm valuable. Look, I have a woman by my side, but I don't take them serious because I'm talking to you. But she doesn't know that. So sometimes they do it in their hostile reputation when it comes to cheating is that, it's all about being familiar, having a familiar face. They can see the eyes of certain women who might even look up to you or feel like you have the perfect relationship. And those are the type of people that the narcissist is going to try to attract or target. They're going to feel like, I'm going to study the room. That woman seems like, your friend seems like she's jealous of you because you're with me and she thinks we have this perfect relationship. So that's who they're going to target. They can tell right away because they see the eyes of jealousy in people's eyes. And that's who, or women who are just, women who are very promiscuous, and they'll flirt even with the narcissist right in front of you, or they'll do something to get the narcissist's attention, to flaunt their bodies or whatever the case is. The narcissist, can become hostile and make it seem like everything is in your head, like they're not being overly friendly, or they'll have people in their circle that they're sleeping with, and you might be that friend who you're looking at, at a woman, and you're telling your friend, who's this woman that's flirting with your man, and oh, that's his sister, they're just very close. And you're like, when did you meet her? Oh, that's his half sister. They have the same dad or something. And you're looking like, the way she's dancing on him don't seem like, you see something that person can't see, right? So a lot of times things are going on even in front of you and you just can't see it. So the moment that you start to see these things, the narcissist will become hostile, and now they're in a competition on moving on to the next supply. They're like, they're almost basically telling you, go cheat. They're even telling you to go cheat. They're telling you, go look for someone else. Go look for someone that you could control. They'll start talking to you crazy, and that's because they're becoming hostile because they're competing with you. They think that you're like them, and while you're hurting, it gives them fuel. It's like, oh, you're weak. Or to them, it's like, you're not the person, that confident person that I thought you were when I met you. See, when they met you, they were attracted to you because it was new. Once they get comfortable with you, they feel like there's nothing that they can learn from you. And even if you actually get smarter than them, like if you start to mentally wisen up and you're getting smarter, they're still going to be hostile, because to them it's like, I don't care how much knowledge you have, I'm still look at you the way I always looked at you. And to them it just doesn't matter. It's like, you can't change their perspective on you, no matter how much knowledge you have. To them, it's, and you can't teach them anything. They feel like they know everything. And sometimes you feel like you're dumbing yourself down being with them too. You'll be feeling like their every move, how they think, what they're going to do before they do it, and there's no more gaslighting you, basically. So when they can no longer gaslight you, you become a nuisance to them. They become aggravated. So now they have to tell you what they're like, oh, I can't gaslight you no more. Okay, I've been doing this. Boom. Look at what I did. Now they're sending you nudes of the new supply, sending you pictures. Now they're updating their profile. Now they're deleting you from their social media. They're deleting you. They're blocking you. They're blocking your phone number. Now they're getting extra phones. They're playing games, and it's all just designed to destroy you while they're just happy with the next person and bashing you to the next person about being obsessed with them or whatever the case is, or they might not even tell the new person, and they just make up stories of why their phone keeps ringing or why they keep disappearing. They're just making themselves look busy. It's all about making themselves look busy. It's all about deception. And that's why you can't really worry about these people, because everything is deception. And it doesn't matter how forgiving you are with them. It doesn't matter if you have a weak spot for them, because they're kind of the ones who made you realize that there's people out here who are catfishing people. It's basically they catfished you. They're becoming hostile because they catfished you. It's like a motherfucker who made a fake profile and you fell in love with them. You fell in love with the profile, with the body, with the person that they pretended to be. Most people pretend to be something they're not on social media. They're not. Some people put their problems on there, but some people have this, they want you to believe that everything is good, because they know people feed off in negativity, and they're like, I'd rather people be jealous of me for good things, not negative things. But the narcissist doesn't care. Some of them post negative things. They're posting their private business. They want you to feel sorry for them. And you're thinking to yourself, why are they posting such intimate stuff to everybody? And you might even reach out to them and give them advice, but they don't really care about your advice, because it's all about getting attention, So the narcissist, might do things where, they become hostile because they made a fake profile. You fed into the profile, and now you're demanding answers. Why did you lie to me after all these years? I loved you. I sent you money. I would have done anything for you. I shared my deepest, darkest secrets with you. I had a child with you. I moved in with you, or whatever it is, whatever the storyline is, right? You're wondering, why would someone pretend to be something that they're not? Why did you pretend? And that motherfucker is telling you, because I knew you wouldn't be attracted to the real me, so I had to make this bad boy image. And while making this this womanizer image, you fell for it. Oh, I had to pretend to be a player so that I could finally have sex with different women. And then when I did become a player, I got so caught up in the player world where you didn't even matter anymore to me, because everybody else believes I'm a player. You don't, but they do. They do everything I tell them to do. So they make up characters, and then they become a different person. And now the person that you once knew, they're not that person anymore. And they're like, oh, you're still talking about that fucking catfish profile that I did with you? Oh man, I already made a whole bunch of profiles and got so many other supplies since then. So how many people are you catfishing? Does it matter? Very arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Very arrogant. Like you're stupid. Like you're dumb. How could you fall? How could you get catfished? It's one thing getting catfished, online, because you believe someone's profile and then you saw them in person and you said, oh, the same person on the picture is the same person I met in person. You're the same guy from the picture, so that means you're not lying. How do you not know if you're still getting catfish just because someone is the same person from their profile picture? So that's how a lot of narcissists get their supplies online, and then some of them, they meet in person because they're coworkers, or they keep seeing that same person because that person lives in the area that they live or they work in. That person lives in that area. That's why you keep bumping into them. If you lived in another area, you wouldn't keep bumping into them. So a narcissist goes to different places, bumping into different people, and they get their fuel from different people. And once you figure out their identity, who they really are, they become hostile. Once you rip off the mask, they're like, it doesn't matter what identity I choose to be next. And when you think about it, every time you were with them, they were always trying to make a new they were always like making a new version of themselves, always trying to make a new version of themselves, always trying to recreate. Every time, when you really pay attention to all the discards and the hoovering and everything, you'll notice that when they start getting better or feeling better, their identity changes again. When they meet a new supply, their identity changes again. They start getting a different type of style, start dressing different. They went from dressing like, with the rat, like they went from urban, outfitters to now they're rock and roll. Now they're dressing like cowboys. They got the cowboy belt. Now they're back to casual dressing. Now they're putting on a nurse outfit, a construction outfit. These people are characters. And then when you figure them out, now they become hostile. Now they're like, I'm going to call your job and get you fired. I'm going to get my friends to get you fired. I'm going to do this. They become very vindictive, where they want to almost kill you, because they're like, they don't want you to give anybody any clues. You blues clues. Don't give no one any clues. So they become hostile when you give other people clues. They could be the ones playing you, and then someone comes knocking on the door. The new supply comes knocking on the door. They're like, don't answer the door. And you're like, why? And you think they're acting funny. And you're like, you're acting funny. Why don't you want me to answer the door? Now they're picking a fight with you. They even get physical with you. It's like picking up their phone. They'll slap that phone off your hand quick and fight you physically, and to them it's like, you could text someone, who are you? Or that other new supply, she might not care about you. She might know, but the narcissist, to them, it's like they still don't want you to give anybody any clues about them. Because even if that person knows, that person, they told that person that they're miserable with you, So to them, it's like, well, if you're miserable with them or that person is cheating on you, why are they checking for me? You know what I'm saying? So they don't want you to give any clues to anybody. If sometimes a narcissist becomes hostile because the new supply found something that was of yours in the home or in the car. Sometimes when you don't even know that when these people bring people over, they're hiding all of your things. They're hiding all of your things. And they get mad at you and take it out on you if that other person gets any clues. So anytime that new person gets a clue, they take it out on you. They become hostile with you. Or you're wondering why they're irritated, and they're like, I'm just quiet. I just don't feel like talking. And they're making it seem like they're just having a bad day. And then they take out their anger on you because they become hostile because they feel like they want to take their frustration out on you, but it wouldn't make sense because you didn't do anything to them. They know you didn't do anything to them. They know they're doing bullshit. So to them, it's like, I'd rather stay quiet and not say anything because, I have hostile energy right now. So the more you want to figure out what's wrong with me, like a normal couple would, you had a bad day, let's talk about it. A normal couple would talk about it. They don't want to talk about it with you. They don't want to waste their breath. So all you're doing is pissing them off. So you almost feel like, as an empath, when they become hostile and you don't know why, you're trying to find reasons to please them, to make them happy. Even if it's intimacy, you're like, oh, if I can't get anything, I'm gonna try to be intimate with them to ease their mind. But then once the intimacy is done, it's like they'll just turn around like nothing happened. Like there's this disconnection that you could tell that there's something different, something that changed. Now they're not holding you anymore. Now they're not as affectionate anymore. Now it's almost like, thank you for relieving my stress, but now I'm gonna go to sleep so that I could think about what I'm gonna do with the other supply. They're never thinking about you. It's always about themselves, even when they're being discarded by other people or having financial problems. They take it out on you. They'll spend all their money with the next supply, and then they'll come to you becoming all hostile, and you'll think to yourself, why are you getting mad at me? And they're like, I'm not getting mad at you. It's all these other people I'm mad at. It's haters. Everyone's hating on me. And it's really them coming to you as a hater, trying to take from you because they're making wrong choices. That's the ultimate hater shit. You went and gambled your money away, and then you're saying everyone is hating on you, and here you are trying to steal from somebody. So that type of person, no matter how upscale they try to be, no matter if they get a supply that is classier than them, their ghetto-ness, their low class is always going to show. So another thing that you will notice with these hostile wild animals that you call narcissists is that, if you give them any direction or you tell them, anything that has to do with rules, or if they cross certain rules or break certain laws and you're telling them to get the hell away from you, they're not going to get away from you. They want you to hit them. They want you to do something to them. Some of them will see when they become hostile, they can hit you, they can do things to you, and after they do it, they want to run away. They're like no face, no case, right? But anytime they get hostile to provoke you and you do something to them, they do it on purpose so that their family and friends or people around them, they pick at you, they become hostile, and they want you to fight back with them. That wild animal wants you to fight back with them. And it's all to gain supply. It's all to gain fuel off of you. A lot of times with these hostile animals, that, like I said, we call narcissists, because they're so used to that hostile environment or that persona of being hostile, where it's like, I'm only gonna be nice to who I choose to be nice to, right? When they have that type of attitude, they'll be hostile to strangers. They'll be hostile to, customers, or to people that they work with, and sometimes, like I said, it could be very straight up, or it could be like, they could seem like nice people and calm, but they're just going to be hostile in a different way where, they might ask you to do something for them when they could do it themselves. They just want to see if they could ask you because they know you're a nice person, right? So they're doing hostile shit, but like in a different way, in a petty way, right? Then there's those that, like I said, they want to provoke you. They want you to look like the crazy person because to them it's like, it's better for it to look like one crazy person than two. So now they know when to be calm. There's some narcissists that they're hostile most of the time to people, to strangers, to workers, people who are working. That's when they really like to be hostile. But sometimes you'll notice when they're in a good mood, when they got a new supply, they're actually not hostile with strangers, or they're not hostile with people who are working. All of a sudden they're nice, they're telling jokes, and you're looking at them like, why are they being so overly friendly to strangers, right? So you'll notice that when they're hostile, when things aren't going their way, when they're cheating on you, when they're playing you, when other people are playing them. That's what you don't know. When people are playing them, and they become hostile, they take out the abuse on you, and it makes them feel good. And instead of treating that person that is treating them like that the same way they're treating you, because you're not the one that deserves it, it's that person who deserves it. They should be projecting that to the person that is doing that to them. But because they feel like that person isn't doing anything to them, they feel like that person has the right to be mad because they're cheating on them with you. To them, it's like, I'm going to take it out on you because you're the problem. So they have to make you be the bad person, and they have to idolize that person as good. You know, you can't be, even though you're the one sacrificing everything, they can't look at you as the good person because that new person is giving them that high. And with you, no matter how good you are with them, you're telling them their truths and you're making them become hostile. So they'll go and be nice to that person, because they feel like with you, you're telling them too many truths, and that person doesn't know them. That person's believing the image of them that they're presenting to them. So now they make it seem like they're being negative, they're being hostile because of you. So they want to blame their hostility because of you. But the truth of the matter is they were hostile before they met you, and they're going to be hostile after they met you. It's like a bird that, is trapped in a cage, and some days it's quiet, some days it has its good days, but when they become hostile, it's puffing its feathers around. It's irritated. It's like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, and that part of them will always come out in the relationship, especially when they feel like that person is expecting a lot from them and they don't have anybody else to abuse. So when they don't have anybody that person to abuse that they're used to abusing, now they're going to start abusing the flying monkeys. Now they're going to start abusing other people who have been there for them, who have believed their lies, people who have forgave them, people they have children with that don't even, the people that they have children with, that those people that moved on with their life, they might have got married, now the narcissist wants to spend extra time with their kids all of a sudden, and when they start talking to their kids, they become hostile. They start trying to get information. They start trying to triangulate their children. So they do that hostile shit. They do it in many different ways with different people. And you better believe that just because they're not taking it out on you, or you might feel like, it's been months or years and you haven't spoken to this person, and now they're coming to you like they miss you, or they like you, or they miss you, whatever, and then they come, you meet up with them or you forgive them, and you'll see that they'll become hostile like wild animals. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to be around you the way they were around you once upon a time, because once upon a time they were comfortable with you. They trusted you. They knew you weren't playing them. They knew that you were taking the abuse. They become hostile when they haven't been around you because they feel like you're trying to play them. So they're trying to play you automatically. They're talking to you like you're a prostitute. They're talking to you like they just want something out of you, or they come to you selling you a dream, and then once they're done getting what they wanted, they're like, haha, I played you again. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? How could they become so hostile? And I just forgave them after everything they've done to me. And they become hostile again like wild animals. Now they're laughing. It's like a little kid at school trying to bully you. The bullying doesn't stop, especially after the final discard. It's like they're always going to be hostile, especially because it's like, to them, they're on survival mode. They don't even think about the past. They feel like every move they made it, and they're dealing with the consequences, and they're okay with the consequences of the moves that they made because it was their choice. So even if they made the wrong move, they feel like, I don't care. That's what I wanted to do. That was my choice, and I stuck to it. This is why a lot of times they'll come back and forth with you because, they're that hostility in them, it's like that wild animal in them. If they were animals, they would have just killed you. That's why some of these narcissists will kill their families, and then they'll marry the next person, and you'll be like, damn, why did you have to kill her? Even if there was child support or other things involved, like, you weren't scared to go to jail. It's that animal instincts, that predator, that hostile, demon in them that made them commit the act. And once they cross that line, they can cross it again. And they might believe, oh, I'm not going to do this with the new supply. The new supply might even feel like they knew that they were cheating on their wife with them and they didn't care. But they don't know that as narcissistic as the new supply feels like she is, because she knows everything, she doesn't know that that animal can attack her too eventually, once that animal feels hostile and starts to feel like, you accepted me when you knew I was cheating on that person. So who is to say you're not going to cheat on me because I left my wife? Who is to say you're not going to try to play me and I sacrificed my family for you? So now, if that person goes against them in any way, the narcissist will become hostile. They'll become controlling. They want to know that person's every move. They'll want to spend all their time with that person. They'll even try to destroy that person's life just so that the person can stick with them through the worst times of their life, just to gain power over that person. And by the time that person realizes that the only reason they were able to go, so low was because of the narcissist, that's when the narcissist now is like, okay, I can move on to the next supply. And if you try to stop me, I'll kill you. If you try to tell the new supply, I'll kill you. Just like I did the other person. I'll destroy you the way I did the other person. And this is why certain women, they won't even want to put a man like that on child support. And you'll wonder why certain women won't do it. And that's because they're afraid. And some women feel like, don't be afraid of him. He's not going to do anything. You don't know what these men will do just to get out of certain situations when they're hostile like that. You think, oh, just give him time, he's going to calm down. No, a narcissist, years can pass by and you'll think to yourself, maybe they change, maybe they miss me, maybe they realize that, maybe we weren't meant to be, but maybe they appreciate the role that I played in their life. Maybe when they think about me, it's a good memory because I was nothing but good to them. No, they'll come at you very hostile. You're a stranger to them. That's how they look at it. While you're with them, they're hostile. You're sitting there looking at them in their eyes. Are you crying for someone else? They're coming to you, crying to you. Oh, take me back, please. I'm sorry. I know I hurt you because I'm hurting right now. And you're like, well, why the fuck you weren't hurting when I was hurting if you're hurting just like me? Oh, because I'm a man and I'm not supposed to show my emotions, and it's full of shit. They're crying for someone else. I remember moments where they were so vulnerable and I'm thinking to myself, like, you wouldn't fucking cry for me. Come on now. After all these years, after all we've been through, you have never cried for me. So it made me sick to my stomach. Like I had this butterflies, like this, like I wanted to throw up, because this person was literally crying, pretending like they were crying for me, getting on their knees, wrapping their arms around my legs, acting like they really care. And they're really fucking crazy. They're crazy. And then they get crazy if you don't take them back for cheating on you because it didn't work out with now they're stalking you and they become even more hostile. And then by the time you do take them back, because you're like, okay, I guess he really wants me. He's been chasing me around town like a fucking crazy animal. Maybe I'll take him back. Now they become hostile because you were making them chase you when they feel like they should have never been chasing you. That's how they feel. They feel like, why are you wasting my fucking time? Why did you make me deal with my own fucking emotions by myself? They can't be alone. They become hostile when they're alone in their own thoughts. That's why when they move on, they never look back. They don't think about you. And if you try to come back and make them think about what they did to you, they'll become hostile. So these people don't feel shit. There's no point on ever reaching out to them. There's no point on ever talking to them. When they're gone, just be happy they're gone and you're alive at this point, because the level of evil that this person will do to you months, years later, no matter how much pain they've caused you, no matter how much they've destroyed you mentally, physically, spiritually, just, you know, got you to even got you to a dark place where you even probably contemplated suicide, and you never felt like that before until you met someone who was constantly lying to your face and telling you that what you were feeling or what you were thinking wasn't right, to the point that they became so hostile, to the point that it looked like they were going to beat you up. Like, oh, you're jealous, you're making up shit. And just like, literally, they will even put their hands on you. You know, they'll spit on you. They'll treat you like crap. And they know they're lying, which makes it even more scary, you know. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful on the narcissist hostility, you know, and especially, you know, when you run across these narcissistic men who are used to abusing other women. Trust me, when they come across you and they know that you're a nice person, it doesn't make you a weak person. You just have manners. You know, you have manners in society. You have manners to make other people feel comfortable, to alert them that you're not a predator and you don't want nothing from them. The narcissist looks at that like weakness. They feel like, oh, I don't act like nothing. I do what I want. You know, they give up this, what people think is confidence, but it's really a predator, and it shouldn't be, you shouldn't trust it, because it's not as smart as you think it is. It's just, it knows that you think that it's a human being, but it's an animal. It's not trained. It's not civilized. It doesn't want to be tamed. It wants to do what the fuck it wants to do. And if it's, you know, eating children or whatever it is, that's what it's going to do. That's what that predator is going to, and it's not going to feel bad about it. There's nothing you can say to them to make them feel bad. You could repeat yourself, repeat what they did to you. They don't care. They don't want to think about it. The more you talk about it, it's just going to piss them off, because to them it's like, why are you even talking about this? I don't care. Yeah, I hurt people. Move on to the next thing. I could keep hurting people. I could keep talking shit. You're letting it affect you. It's on you. You're letting me abuse you. You're letting me cheat on you. The predator doesn't care. It doesn't have feelings. So, you know, be careful when you come across these hostile people, because they think because they can bully other people, they can bully you, and you're a stranger. They feel like you should be a robot. They feel like when they come into your presence, you should just pretend. They feel like you shouldn't say anything. Like, just let me be crazy and just, I'm in my own world, and let me be in my own world. If I want to dance in front of you and act a fool, just let me do that. Let me be myself. There's nothing wrong with people who are being themselves, but they're the ones coming to you, telling you not to tell them anything. Just leave me alone. Go dance in the corner by yourself. Why are you dancing in front of me? It's weird. It's weird. And then you're telling me I'm judging you for dancing in front of you. No, motherfucker, you want attention. It's weird. Get away from me. Don't touch me. And then they become hostile, like something's wrong with you, like you're a weirdo, like you're boring, whatever. And then they want you, they don't stop messing with you. And then when they finally piss you off, they're kind of like, see, you're just like me. You're trying to hold your anger, your hostility, just like me. You're holding your hostility because you don't hurt people. You know that hurt people hurt people. You're hurting, but you don't want to hurt nobody. They're just hurting people without a conscience and don't care. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing. You know, if you guys have not subscribed to my new channel, please subscribe to this new channel. Follow my old channel as well, Angel Angela. And, You know, I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace. If you guys want to book a session with me, I'm still doing bookings. Just give me 24 hours to respond to you. And as always, I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.